Hello, everybody. My name is Akeyta, Akari, Aurora, and this week we've been exploring GeneKey number 50, the gift of equilibrium, the shadow of corruption, and the CD of harmony. Its programming partner is number 3, innovation. And we love that 3 energy, right? 3 is the catalyst. So we have equilibrium and innovation happening this week. Richard Rudd says, equilibrium can be lost, but harmony is constant and infinite. I felt the Divinity code with this one as 053. Let's get into the wisdom story. Though my father wanted to be a musician and my mother a teacher, neither could afford the education. They spent their lives working in factories for little pay and for power-hungry bosses who only cared about the bottom line. Overloaded with responsibilities, my parents pushed their pain, shame, and dreams away. But I was angry at their bosses, the industries, and all hierarchies. So I rebelled, and my parents worried about my anger outbursts at school. My angry society was sick. As soon as I was old enough, I grabbed my father's guitar and a philosophy book and hitchhiked my way across Europe. Everywhere I went, I saw corruption. Wealthy people ruled the world, rich countries exploited the poor, and no one took responsibility for their destructive and dehumanizing impact. Most took credit for saving the world from chaos. Unable to contain my rage, I vandalized, then squatted in an abandoned building. When the police arrived, I refused to leave and was thrown into jail. Too ashamed to ask my parents to bail me out, I sat out the time. It was in jail that I realized just how irresponsible I'd been. Just like the capitalists, I hadn't held myself accountable for so many of my destructive actions. The selfish worldview that fed the hierarchies of the world was living in me. I got brutally honest, faced my shame and fear, and came to understand just how much of my parents' pain I'd been carrying within me. As my heart broke open, my mind began to dream of a new world where the self-actualizing needs of people like my parents were nourished and honored. As soon as I got out of jail, I was determined to get to know my parents in a whole new way. We even played music together. Then I started seeking out communities, even countries, that modeled new ways of organizing themselves. One of the first things I noticed was how honest people were with each other and themselves. I developed a special knack for spotting people's unlived dreams and encouraging them to take creative risk in honor of their gifts. I tend to have a strangely magical impact on any group I enter. Things often just fall into alignment, and I rarely know why. That's the magic of nature and the nature of magic. My gift to you. I bring you a vision of a new world where peace, wholeness, harmony, and collaboration prevail. In you, I see a potential for inner wholeness and a gift for bringing equilibrium and balance to any group of which you're a part. To ignite these gifts, the catalyst, you must first be willing to put all of your hidden agendas on the table. Own and take responsibility for your ulterior motives, and your self-trust will grow. With self-trust, you can create the safe space necessary for others to face and embrace their own shadows. This is how to co-create a truly whole world. There is self-organizing intelligence that naturally arises when people are empowered to be who they are and are encouraged to contribute passionately to the ever-evolving whole. Remember to be playful. What's the point of a new world if we can't enjoy it? I love that message. There's this saying, if you love it, let it kill you. And I remember last year having this conversation with somebody and I said, nah, let's change that. Not if you love it, let it kill you. If you love it, enjoy it. Right? Don't let it kill you. But if you love something, enjoy it. So let's remember to be playful and enjoy this new world that we are co-creating, right? To bring in what? Balanced evolution. This is where we are, guys. It's the equilibrium, right, of moment of bringing things into balance. And I usually don't get into the other parts of it this early, but we're here, and this key is reflecting all around us collectively, and I'm sure individually, as we all went through this week, as well as we're still in the eclipse corridor or the eclipse portal, right, from the solar eclipse on the 14th to the lunar eclipse on the 18th. They're all here to bring in that equilibrium, and we're dealing with the storms, right, and we're going beyond the illusion and really seeing where the balance and the harmony and how that can come into play, and what we need to do in order to bring that into us and through us. So here are some more questions of contemplation. Are you stuck working in or against the system? Is your social responsibility getting in the way of your creativity? Have you ever been blinded by power or involved in corruption? Think of a time when you felt especially creative, playful, or free. Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? What can you do to connect with an experience of harmony? Beautiful questions. GeneKey 50, the gift of equilibrium, the shadow of corruption, and the CD of harmony. Richard Rudd says, equilibrium can be lost, but harmony is constant and infinite. The dragons and unicorns always bring us something good, so let's get into it. Let's see what they have for us today. So something magical happened, as always, with these dragons and unicorns. They always support the GeneKey message so profoundly. And this week something happened with the dragons and the unicorns. I got an old dragon that came back and an old unicorn, but it was so fitting. So I'm not going to go deep into the old messages, but I'll let them support the new messages, right? Because that's where we're at. Bringing forth the wisdom of the old and merging it with the new, right? All right, so the first dragon that came out was actually the gold and silver violet the gold and silver violet flame dragon. All right. So again, this energy of transmutation and transfiguration and transformation and really transmuting out our past. And remember, this is all about GeneKey 50 and this energy of equilibrium, moving beyond the shadow of corruption and going into more harmony for everybody, right? So this gold and silver flame energy is all about transmutation, transmuting the old around you with wisdom and grace, transmutation, magic, healing, and offering service under grace. So again, let's look at the collective and this look at the moment humanity is at and asking this gold and silver violet flame of transmutation to come in to clear out all of that past stuff, right? And to bring in healing and to offer service to the wider collective under grace. It's really a powerful message. And then we're going to go into the earth dragon, right? So the earth dragon is the new message, right? And we are in this beautiful it's Scorpio now, so we're into the waters, right? But we're coming out of the Virgo earthliness, right? And that earth season, but anchoring in the new. And I think that's the energy that I'm receiving with this one. And again, clearing out the lands, right? Just look at it. Look at the collective, what's happening in the Middle East, clearing your path and the land around you, right? So this earth dragon, the energy is blue and it clears your path in the land around you. It's here for us to stay grounded and to be ready to serve, right? It talks about stuck energy being cleared so that we can move forward in life, right? So the key things: staying grounded, being ready to serve, clearing out stuck energy, and moving forward in our lives. I mean, isn't that what we're seeing? Isn't that what we're all experiencing collectively? Isn't that the call, the higher call from within us? And as we do that individually, we create that outside of us. So let's think of it, on a collective perspective as well as an individual perspective, and 333 coming in, and how important it is for us to do our own shadow work of clearing and stepping into equilibrium and releasing our own corruption, right? Our own mindsets of corrupted ways and thinking and illusions, and allowing that past to move through so that we can bring in the new, and not just bring in the new, but be grounded by the new you and the new potentiality and the new calls. Just watching everything. You can feel how humanity is been transformed and is no longer willing to play the old games. It just is so loud. That message is so loud. So the earth dragons are fourth dimensional earth dragons, and that frequency is a brown frequency. Again, the vibration and the essence of being grounded with the earth, right? It's the love of the land and the planets, clearing the lands and powering away under the surface to clear any blockages. It helps us to ground in our missions and our life purposes. So, again, this energy of transformation, this energy of transformation, this energy of shedding out the old and bringing in the new, and with that recycling, that transformation, transfiguration, transmutation, with that release, we are also receiving. And what we receive is in more alignment or better alignment with our future and with our missions, right? It talks about clearing unwanted energies that prevent us from moving forward. So, what's preventing you from moving forward in your personal life? And you can kind of see on the collective scene what's keeping humanity stagnant And that energy of, no, let's just keep on doing it how we've been doing it because this is what works for us, versus, no, this is not working for humanity, for the collective, and we need to find a way to move forward with more harmony, less corruption, right? And in equilibrium, right? It's a very powerful and timely message. This earth dragon talks about removing all that is not in accordance with divine light. And I wanted to focus on that word for a little minute again, the word divine and the word divinity. And it's held us at such captivity for such a long time. And this year I just really grounded in that divinity means to transform, to change, to transfigure. And even that word transfiguration, right, has the word figure in it, the number. And I was meditating on that word a couple weeks ago, and I realized, and I think it was in the beginning of this year, I even did this meditation with just the numbers and the visualization of numbers. And you can't get to one from one to two without transforming. Like literally, you have to change your form if you just look at the numbers, right? So it's a change of energy, stepping into a new energy, stepping into a new frequency and a vibration. And to be able to do that, to release, to bring forth, to change, is our divinity. So sometimes, what looks like, oh my God, this is horrible, and how could the world create this? It's that light, that shadow that needs to come in to really, for humanity to respond to it and say, no more, no more, right? So divine light, I just want to read that again. It removes all that is not in accordance with divine light. So as we meditate and pray and project, that we all come into accordance and alignment with the divine light that is being sent to us now, and we are able to transform and transmute ourselves with this divine light to step up into a more powerful individual, as well as a more powerful and harmonious universe and planet, right? It talks about planetary service work and grid work, right? And whenever we step into that, again, you're doing work on behalf of the collective, and you're also realizing that Earth is not just standing by herself, that she is a part of a wider planetary system. And as we all embrace that and embrace the roles that humans play in this whole earthly system as well as the planetary system, you're able to or you step into serving the wider collective, right? And at planetary service work and doing the grid work, allowing yourself to be that bridge that receives the energy and spreads it out, to others, is also just a beautiful process to be involved in, right? So this earth dragon, its essence is to boost our spiritual journey. Why? Because we are ready to fly. And I spoke about that a lot on last week's video about, this whole dragon symbology that, we could either be the tail of the dragon, keeping us heavy and weighted, or we can use our wings and fly, right? And it's interesting that this earth dragon comes in to say, hey, well, I show up when your spiritual journey needs to be boosted, because I'm going to ground you so that you can be ready to fly, because I've noticed your progress, So this dragon is also reminding us to notice the progress that we have made. Again, I say individually and collectively, right? Because this is all about GeneKey 50, equilibrium, the shadow of corruption, and the seed of harmony. So let's step into harmony together, right? All right, and let's see what message the unicorns have for us. And last but not least, we have the unicorns. And the first card that came out again was this repetitive card that has shown up a lot, and it was Stargate of Lyra, number 40. And it said to expand your causal chakra, enter the unicorn kingdom. And I said, oh my goodness, the causal chakra again? So I'm attaching to this the meditation that or visualization that I did during the eclipse last weekend on the 14th, tapping into our causal chakra, because I've been doing a lot of work with the causal chakra. And I think this, again, it supports this whole message of transmutation, the violet flame, being grounded and tapping in to the new, releasing the old to tap into the new. All right. So it's very important that we attune ourselves and tap into our causal chakra and really work with that energy and that stargate, so that we can move forward lighter and more empowered, right? So that's the old supportive message. And the new message is number 5, right? Isn't that a beautiful match with Equilibrium 50, GeneKey 50, new opportunities. And the message is declutter your life, glimpse a magical doorway, right? So this is where we're at, and again, this eclipse energy this week, this gene key goes from actually it ends on the 25th, but we're heading into the eclipse, the end of this eclipse portal, right? And all of this energy that we've been experiencing while we're in the eclipse portal is really to recycle, to release, to mulch, to go deep into our waters, right? To clear out that any ancestral energy that we need to clear out, and or wounds that we need to come into wisdom with, right? And really move forward feeling lighter and more empowered. This card actually mentions the word prolific, and my guide said look that one up. Highlight that word, right? So let's get into it. It talks about clearing out and releasing unhelpful thought patterns and emotional attachments. It's like pruning out a rose, the book says. It encourages the plant to grow bigger and bloom more prolifically than before. So when I looked up prolific, its definition was to produce much fruit, large numbers, and plentiful. Doesn't that sound good? Right? So don't get caught up in the shadow work, right? Understand, or the intensity of these moments and weeks, right? Understanding that this intensity is bringing forth this prolific new you, right? It will produce much fruit, and this prolific abundance and prosperity for the collective, right? It will produce more fruit, right? It talks about a physical, emotional, and mental sorting out. And I wrote 333 again coming in. And I wrote the purge, right? Because we've all been experiencing some type of purge over the last 2 weeks or week or weekend that really had us releasing, whether it was physically, emotionally, or mentally. And I'm going to go directly into the book for the rest of the message. It says this unicorn card suggests it is time for a physical, emotional, and mental sort out. Are your job, home, relationship, and friendships, hobbies, and beliefs serving your spiritual path? Do they fulfill and satisfy you? Do they support you and bring you love and joy? Look carefully and honestly at every area of your life. If you are hanging on to the old because it is safe and familiar, your unicorn is reminding you that when you weed the garden of your life, it will regenerate. So take the decision to declutter now. It goes on to say, when you are ready, ask your unicorn to raise your frequency so that anything new that flows in is a better quality than which you have released. Ask it to bathe you in its light, for the brighter your aura, the more wonderful the new you will be. You are creating an opportunity to step through a magical doorway into a sunlit future. They said it so good. I said, you know what, let me just read it from the book. I can't say it any better than that, right? It's time. You're ready. The dragons are saying you're ready to fly. The unicorns are saying, hey, glimpse the magical doorway and step through it. But there's always preparation and there's always release that we have to do. So my message is, don't get caught up in the storms. Remember, that was the energy of October. The storm is going to come. The storm is here. But while we're in the storm, there's so much that we can create if we are able to stand strong, release, and call in, right? We have to allow ourselves to be transformed, right? I also went into 64 doorways, and I just loved how they described this gene key. They describe it as the maestro, and this is the archetype. And I usually don't talk about the archetypes, but this one I wanted to read the message, and this is from 64doorways.com. Another great website to get into more of the gene keys and human design, and really familiarize yourself with this system. So they describe this as the maestro, or the archetype of this is the maestro: harmonics, order, and responsibility. And it says, just as a brief description, it says the maestro is the core figure of the orchestra and the extended musical community. His instinctual awareness scrutinizes what is corrupt or unjust, unnecessary or self-serving. This is his way of caring for every aspect of life within the orchestra. From the maestro's perspective, everything in experience is music, or everything is experienced as music. All right. So, hey, here we are, guys. GeneKey 50, the gift of equilibrium, the shadow of corruption, and the CD of harmony. All right. Divinity code 053. Have a beautiful, blessed, and innovative week. I hope that you come into balance. And my will and wish for all of us is that, and humanity, is that we are at a moment where we're not just coming into balance, but what we are creating is balanced for the whole perspective. And I think that's two aspects of the balance. For one, for us to come into balance, but for our creations to serve the wider community, the planet, and through our creations and our innovation, that we are able to create balance and more equilibrium with what we as maestros are creating, the music that we as maestros are creating and orchestrating for each other, right? I used to say, what was it? Something like, let your life be the melody, let your life play the music of the melody that you want to dance to, or something like that. I can't remember it. I used to say it years ago. Let your life play the music that you love to hear, or something like that. But be the maestro, and be the maestro of your world and create harmony with your music. Something like that. All right. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And, the next Gene Key is a couple days away. So just have a beautiful day and enjoy this lunar eclipse. And take a look at the meditation, the visualization that I attached to this beautiful Gene Key message. I love you all. Like and subscribe.